Today we're making a beautiful Mexican bowl and we're gonna get started right now.
Welcome to Ahimsa Kitchen.
If you want to learn how to make more beautiful plates to impress your maybe non-vegan friends, family or your boyfriend, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button not to miss out on any of my videos. We're gonna break down the recipe in 5 different components and then later it will all come really nicely together when we do the plating, and I promise you, you're gonna create a really stunning plate. So make sure you stay tuned for that. The whole recipe you find in the description box below. Let's get started. Our component number 1 is the cauliflower rice, and all you need for that is cauliflower. So all we need for this is a food processor, which I recommend anyway. Roughly cutting the cauliflower. It really doesn't need to be exact because it's all gonna go in the food processor. It's always better to check once in a while. You don't want to over process it, so you still want a little bit of this rice-like consistency. This is finished, so this is how it should look like. So you want still a little bit of a grainy texture. Our second component is our protein. So we're making Mexican beans. I love pinto beans. Today I'm using kidney beans though, because not everything is always available these days, but you can also use black beans or any type of beans you like really. We're gonna heat some olive oil. Always use some ecological oil if possible, and extra virgin.
Add your onion, a little bit of salt, and we let them cook for a couple minutes. Now we are adding the garlic.
Now we add the spices. So we have 1 teaspoon of cumin, and cumin really also helps your digestion, and especially if you eat beans, always with cumin. It really does the trick. And some sweet paprika. I got it in Morocco last year. It's still very delicious. We're gonna roast the spices for about half a minute, and we're gonna add our beans now. If you feel like it's a little dry, you can always add a little bit of water. And we'll let it cook for about 5 minutes. I have prepared the ingredients already. I'm like in one of these cooking shows. Like 20 years ago when they always said, I prepared this already, I prepared this already. And they make it look so easy and it's so much work. I won't lie, this dish is a little bit of work, but it's totally worth it really, because you also want to impress your friends and family. So in that case, we have to make a little bit of an effort. So I cut the tomatoes in cubes. And I have some corn. If you live in the United States, please make sure you get non-GMO corn. So it's organic corn, then it's automatically not genetically modified. I have about 2 tablespoons chopped cilantro, a little bit of salt, fresh pepper, some olive oil, and we're gonna add also some white onion. So the white onion is much more easier digestible, it's not as strong, and I always use just a little bit, a quarter, so that's absolutely enough. And we're gonna add some fresh lime juice. So sometimes the limes are they're really hard, so or you don't get out any juice at all. So a little trick, so you just put the lime on your cutting board, and with the back of your palm, you just roll it down. Now, really soft and juicy. Cut it, squeeze. Last but not least, what would be Mexican food without Tabasco? We just add a little bit for now. I will definitely add some more later. I'm addicted, I have to admit. So we're gonna mix it up, and the tomato corn salad is ready as well. Okay, ready for the best part. We are making the guacamole. I'm also gonna make it in the food processor because it just gets really creamy. If you don't want to do that, or you don't have one, you just can squish it with a fork as well. I'm also gonna show you a trick on how to safely cut avocados. We're gonna cut it in half, separate it, and then here, now the tricky part comes obviously. Where the pit is. So I take my left hand and I put it behind my back. You aim with your knife for the pit. So you have your knife nicely in the pit. You take your hand, you turn it, and now this part is also really dangerous. So never do like this. Just go on the side of your cutting board and take it off. Okay, now it landed on the floor. Creamy avocado. So these are really nice ones. I also got locally from the island. Luckily, we are in season. So we're gonna use the other half of the lime. Squeeze it. Some fresh pepper, salt. Almost ready. It's just so creamy in the food processor. Look at this fluffiness. I just have a tiny little bit red onion prepared, so it just gives it also this really nice kick. So also you just use a little bit. I know a lot of you guys out there are really sensitive to onion and garlic, so I'm just gonna use a little bit. If you don't want it at all, obviously leave it out. Still gonna be delicious, but totally recommend it. Mix that up. Ready.
For the chips, make sure they don't have more than 3 ingredients.
For the garnish, we will also need some lime wedges. We just cut the lime in half. And then from here we could make 6 lime wedges out of 1 lime. I'm gonna just cut 3 for the moment. And make sure you always wipe down your knife immediately after you use some citrus, especially if you have an expensive knife like this one.
We're starting with the cauliflower, and you want to make sure you create an asymmetrical shape. Same with the beans, just on top. And the salad goes on top of the beans. Make sure you still see some of the beans around. And now the guacamole. Today I decided to put it in an extra plate, in an extra little bowl on the side. Add your lime wedge. We have the cherry tomatoes. So you want to kind of stuff them in to create some height. And there's a really nice color pop as well. I really recommend you get culinary tweezers. They're so helpful just to place any type of herbs or flowers onto your plate. These are dried rose petals. I always gotta have something pink on the plate. Some fresh pepper. And the chips, arrange them in an asymmetrical order. So it should look like you didn't plan any of this at all. Ready, our beautiful Mexican bowl. And just for the fun of it, we're gonna make another bowl on a white plate with less contrast, how maybe you would normally plate it. And we're just gonna see those two in comparison. What do you say? It still does look nice and I would be happy about it, but if you look at them side by side, there is a little bit of a difference.
This wasn't so hard after all, wasn't it? Let me know in the comment section below, who do you want to impress with this recipe. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe I see you next Tuesday. Bye. Oh, a little bit came onto the table, sorry. Oh, it's so good already. Sorry, no eating on camera.